Yeah, speaking of peeling the levels of the onion, um, I've been in a 5-day challenge this week. And what came up for me to address is health and vitality. And it has been a challenge for me to find a state of homeostasis. And that after experiencing an extremely stressful situation, it has been difficult for me to come back to a relaxed state. And in fact, it's even been scary for me to come to back to a relaxed state. One reason is because it's really unfamiliar to me. And another is that I'm not sure I can actually operate fully when I'm relaxed or in a relaxed state. So what I've come to realize is that as a result of being extremely traumatized, like been in terror and actually lost my life at 2 years old. Um, that even though there were numerous behavioral symptoms after that, um, no one knew what had happened to me, including me. And so no one helped bring me back to health. Although there were attempts made to relieve the symptoms that kept showing up. So I took on this pattern um, where I was forced to deny basic Maslow needs. And the pattern was all kinds of delayed self gratification or um, delayed joy. And so as I realize this stuff, it's like I realized that that I'm probably the only one that can parent myself and find that way back to homeostasis. And that old pattern is a tendency to try to plow through it. And plowing through it just doesn't cut it for me. In fact, it tends to make things worse.
I feel like you're recalibrating back to your natural state.
Yes.
You're creating heaven on earth within yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's just going to take time because you've had 60 odd years of the opposite.
Yeah.
You're returning home to yourself, and that's beautiful. Love
Yeah.
you, Craig.
Yeah. So there's two big themes that are coming to the top for me right now. And one is self-care and the other one is deep relaxation. So I'm taking steps to get all the help I can, all the help and encouragement I can to consciously meet my own basic needs. And to nurture myself correctly.
Well, there's a getting back aspect that you began with. And I think it was getting back to homeostasis. That's what I heard?
Um, yeah. Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah. I don't quite understand what I said though. If that makes any sense.
Interesting.
I'm feeling that the sea's very healing for you, Craig, so go into the sea more. Water
Say
is very
again?
healing for you. The sea and water is very healing for you, so go in the sea more, go in water more.
The ocean.
Yeah, the ocean.
Ah, Yes, yes, yes.
To see more, So great job going with your intuition.
I'm
And
also getting, which I feel is my intuition. Seaweed will be good for you, Craig. Consuming some seaweed.
Mhm.
You can buy edible seaweed, but I'm getting seaweed will be very good for you.
hmm,
And even for relaxation, if you get like a fish tank and just watch the fish in the fish tank, that will relax you
Mm.
because it will remind you of the ocean. Just, yeah, I think a fish tank will help you relax.
so people, when we speak out aloud, we have taken everything to the something. And all the information is in the words that we say, the tone that we use. And that's where we're listening to others and we listen to ourselves, like how we're triggered. Or we listen to what our intuition says for us as someone else is talking. And the more skilled we get with it, we're able to dance with those two quicker in the real moment. And then as we go through such as the trainings, the classes, the recodes, we learn the tools that are inside the recode, the methods, the processes, so that we can, so the intuition says, oh, look, that's a good process for that. And as we go through them, meaning we experience them ourselves, we can, that's how we share the experience with others. And so it's and like below that, it's like listening for the structure, the undertow, the current, the charge. And I kept hearing, Craig, that I get back to a state. I'm looking to get back to. And you said, yeah, I don't know what I mean by that. Great. how would we know, like, so that in a way is what you want, but then you don't know what you want. But there's some reference that says I want it, there's a state I want to get back to and I can't. From my experience and my intuition of hearing, that situation, that structure says to me that the inner child wants to get back to that. There's a stuckness from something in the past that's not allowing to go forward, to have that, to see it. So that's part of the personalities. So what it comes to is the adult, the self, the today's self, going back to that moment with that child, back to that experience, seeing that child make that choice. And then making a new choice. Then the two, so if it's the child and today, then the two of you, the selves, which is just the personalities, they drop that charge, why they can't have it. They see another opportunity, another space, and together move forward. And that peel, that layer, everything built past it, then shifts. And so if the recode, Ian, is this always the structure between what do I want and where am I? And that's what we're listening for in our speaking. Listening for what's not said, which is in the intuition aspect. And so Craig, if you thought to get back to homeostasis, what age were you at homeostasis?
Before I was conceived. Oh, wow.
I'm just gonna say this because it's just come to mind. I was getting even in the birth process there was trauma, and like the umbilical cord around your neck, like trauma in the birth process. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah, I saw that too, which is why I went back to preconception. Cause there was, yeah, cause there was stuff going on while I was in the womb too.
then when we're doing intuition, when we're traveling back, when we're using emotions and getting signals of what it could be, it's always important to remember that we either get metaphors or it could have happened that way. And if you think about everything we say, it's either one of those two. We use them as metaphors. Or matter of facts, like as we experience and remember them. Neither is wrong, both are right. So you can take that moment that you had homeostasis before conception, and what do you see in the preconception or feel, Craig? Or intuit, much better word. What's your intuitiveness say?
It's an incredible lightness of being,
Hmm.
very light.
Great. So mom and dad are coming together. You're conceived. Is it still that feeling, that sense?
Nope.
Where did it come from? What threw it off?
An intention.
Whose?
Parents.
Which side?
Both. Actually, initiated by mom.
What's about this initiation?
Uh, Fear. Security issue.
Dad?
Dad was going to be away for a while. So I was conceived to lessen mom's fear.
Did it?
Um, in her mind, yes.
Is that your only purpose?
Wow, that's an interesting question. Uh, that's probably a very foundational purpose. It's not a purpose that I wanted. Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. This is good.
Well, no one gets to choose their parents, but the life is your choice. Like you want to go back to that, then just do it. It's your choice. You have already put your energy into bringing it out here. So now it's just the road you need to find. Never mind the end. It's all about the journey, the
Yeah,
experience getting there.
yeah.
And I would say you're on the
Just hang
way
on a
to it.
second, Heinz. Just hang on a second. I wanna know what caused Jesse to laugh. I said not a purpose that I wanted.
The irony
Jesse
of it.
laughed.
The
Yeah,
irony of it, right? But the moment that I got that, I saw your mom release it.
okay. Yeah,
So she freed you. She's permissioned to free you of that. And I saw the lostness of that since her passing. Like, wow, what's my purpose now?
oh, wow. Hmm.
And so you'll take a foundation all the way back to that moment that now we see. It's like, oh, there, that was the purpose, meaning the choice I made. Right? Say, yep, here I come. I'm going to do that. I'm going to help mom with her fear, right? To be safe, I'm going to take that on, is what this spark called Craig said. And right there, just before that choice, we're going to lay in your current choice that's so impactful in today's Craig. It says right here, the desire of my heart is. That is the door I'm going to step through. I can choose that other choice over there, but here's another one today. This is the desires of my heart door, and I can choose that one, or I can choose the other one, and I can choose anything else. So you can come into this realm, into this body through either one of those portals and any other one.
Yeah, it's interesting the way you phrased the question. I wrote it down. You said, is that your only purpose?
Well, and I got an arrow to it, and I got edgy with it, and it went right to the heart.
Yeah,
When I released the arrow, that's what it felt like.
yeah.
So I knew we were on something good.
Yeah. Yeah, and my response to that it was not a purpose that I wanted. Oh wow. Oh, there's so much in this today, you guys. Oh my goodness gracious. You know, even though the experience of it was hell on wheels, um, I learned a lot from that pattern. That pattern has had value throughout my life.
Good morning, Pascal.
Morning, everyone.
Morning, Pascal.
Good morning.
Morning, Pascal.
We're doing a major recode on me this morning, Pascal.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
Good morning. I'm sure it's too early for this.
So was our recode and intuition mixed together?
Yeah, a recode is about 90% intuition.
Oh wow, very powerful.
Yeah, yeah.
And 10% structure.
Yeah, yeah.
If you do the recode without being in a creative structure, you don't get very far.
Yeah.
So Craig, are we trying to fix you?
No, no.
Oh, no.
We're at the stage right now, Pascal,
Oh,
where the pattern has become apparent, and we're honoring the pattern for the value that it's provided throughout my life.
mm,
So that personality, we'll call it, for lack of any better word, which is energy, has been maintaining that,
mm.
has
Correct.
been balancing that, has been seeing life through it, like to fulfill that choice. And all we're doing with that energy now is we see in it, we're recognizing it, and we've gone back to the moment that that choice was made to say, oh, we have another choice if we want it. And we get that part, that energy on board with the new choice so that it can continue to do what it was, just in a slightly different frame, a slightly different frequency, a different intention. So we still use all the experience that's there from this day forward, just flowing just a little differently.
Mm.
It was very beautiful to listen to, so thank you. Hmm.
And I interject with something. I mean, it's already been said, but I found it so interesting that Gary Craig, without, you can say without knowing it, but at a deeper level, he obviously did know about structure. And he also knew about intuition, and because he was in a profession that wasn't all that enamored with intuition. That's why psychology missed out on it, because they weren't interested in having him.
Yeah. Is he the guy that introduced tapping?
No,
No.
no. Tapping guy was Gary Craig, I think.
So just for my learning, because I was observing and listening, if it was a recode, how come you didn't ask about resistance before and resistance after? Was it a different type of recode? Just the first one I've ever experienced in that format, and it was really really beautiful.
Ian, do you mind to ask your question again?
That was a recode that Jesse did on Craig.
Yes.
I've never seen it in a format where they haven't asked the resistance before and the resistance after, and where
Okay.
they've been like the guidance was felt different on Jesse's than usual. So my question was that a different type of recode? Was it a different structure of recode?
I'll leave Jesse to answer that.
So I've never seen it done that way before, that's all. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, I'll say this. Reason why I haven't seen it in that way before is just because, in my experience, Jesse's real genius is to extrapolate and go 10,000 foot higher than anybody else does. And he puts a whole lot of stuff together and then synthesizes it, which is why you've not seen it in this form before. But he understood, in my opinion, the underlying structure of the recode. He's been able to include a lot of other things with it. But the
Yeah,
way
I
in
felt like
which it,
it,
sorry, and
sorry.
say,
So yeah, I felt like a different energy, so that makes sense.
yes, because he uses his intuition in at the same time. I can see it what he does, but I can't put words to it. Sorry. There's a lot more listening in between, in my experience of Jesse's work, than what they is with the original form of the recode. But he stays with the intent. So the intent of Gary Flint's recode is to update the unconscious. So that you, in the present, access the past, and then you rewrite the past from the present, which then impacts the future. And that was Flint's intention. And Jesse's just one of those people that manage always to improve a model, a good model. He's able to take all the concepts and link them together in a different way. It's more efficient. He's very good with efficiency. That's my experience.
Yes, he's put his own stamp on it. I felt that. Thank you, Alison.
Yeah, thank you,
Okay.
Allison. And so I'll specifically answer the question. The reason that they bring in the resistance is to add validity to what they do. Meaning, from the client's, we'll use a client, Craig's perspective. Now, it's to see that the process has made a difference for them. So that is the value. They use it as a value mechanism, as an awareness mechanism. Craig's past that. Craig's willing and open. So there was no need for it. And it helps the client, the other person in this way, is to begin to become aware of resistance. So it also helps. Because that's all the recode is doing, is recoding, is removing resistance that's in the way. And when we call it the recode, it's in a container to sell it. And I'm going to go with Heinz's word of service this morning.
Mm,
Yeah, yours is more from the heart. I felt that.
exactly.
That's why I felt the difference, because yours is more from the heart.
Yeah.
Mm. Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you, Ian. And I started with that learning, and so it's a powerful structure.
Mm.
But it still can be a problem-solving structure, as Pascal pointed out. Just as anything can. And nor are we finished with Craig either.
Yeah, I felt I interrupt the process.
That's okay, because I'm still cooking on it. I'm still honoring the pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm changing my relationship to the pattern. It's basically what is going on right now.
Which is different than getting rid of it.
That's very important, especially with this pattern.
Yeah, yeah. Because there may still be some value to it.
Yeah.
Oh, there is. It's the tenacity, right? The desire, the fulfillment, right? The doing it, the making sure the stability. It's one of the cores, right? I mean, it's one of the reasons that came in.
Yeah, because it became a life purpose and a very specific role to play.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And one thing Jesse mentioned is that my mom has passed on. My dad passed on a number of years ago, so my parents are gone. The ones who created the intention in the first place are not here anymore, at least not in form. And so any sense of responsibility that I had around that I may be free to let go of. What's coming up for me is the role of being the one to remove fear. That role I can let go of, at least on a one-to-one basis. But I'm still sensing that that's a handy resource for the collective of humanity. To draw the focus of people away from fear and toward hope.
Yeah, I would add to that, any roles that you're giving to yourself is collapsing your consciousness.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
put pressure on you.
Ooh, there's the word.
Like I have to, like I'm a dad. I have to make sure my kids are healthy. I have to da 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 da. I'm not saying it's wrong, you know, but you can just do it as love and not be like, oh, I'm a dad because of blah blah blah. Or I'm a healer and like my responsibility is to heal people. No, it's
No.
not. All healing is self-healing. Doesn't matter how good of a healer you are if the other person is not open for healing.
Yeah, another part of that too is that a role can be confused with a purpose.
Or an orientation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So often when we try to help or fix people instead of being of service to.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you have a role, you have to behave a certain way.
Yeah. So I'm looking at this pattern as a tool or a resource in the toolbox.
What did I tell you, Pancho? It's too early for this.
I like your way of looking at it, Craig. Another tool in the toolbox, which means it's something we get to work with ourselves
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
instead of expecting someone else to work with it for you. So the right
That's
perspective.
that's the underlying motivation of this pattern. It's your responsibility, your choice, it's for you now. Your desires of your heart.
Mm. And that's how you nurture authenticity.
Yeah, and what I'm sensing now is that that the grip on that pattern has been loosened.
And that's what happens when we bring awareness, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because I thought up to this point that it was foundational, and I'm talking subconsciously thinking.
Mm.
Like I thought it was a foundational pattern, and I had been acting that out as if it was foundational, and now I realize that it's not. And now there's some open space. And I wonder what my heart wants to fill that open space with.
Mm.
Or not.
So all three aspects of you are just in this moment of conception.
Mm.
The energy of mom, the energy of dad. In the spirit of this pattern, is there anything any of these aspects need to say? Need to express?
Yeah, Craig wants to say, I'm really glad I don't have to bear that burden anymore.
Be a little bit more direct, maybe with mom and dad.
Yeah, Mama's saying to me, I never intended to bog down your life with that. And Dad is saying, I never intended to put you on watch.
Mm.
That's right. What is the child hearing that from the mom, from the dad, the child, the all three personalities, the higher selves? Hearing that, what does this child respond?
I'm grateful.
Yes.
And I realize that's created a big part of who I am today.
And then it was gone.
Say again?
And then it was gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Grateful for it. You've seen it. And so now what can go in that place?
Well, for one thing, I can lessen my own fear. I can change my relationship with responsibility. I can open up my heart more. I can experience homeostasis in a new way.
And that's all you wanted.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's the structure. That was what he wanted. That was all that was in the way. And now he full circled it back to what he wanted, that he can have it.
Yeah, yeah.
A version of the parts integration and the big one, little ones.
Yeah.
And how we know it finished is when Craig brings it all the way back to what he wanted. That it's possible that he could have it.
Yeah. Yeah.
In your words, not mine.
Yeah. And even just in this amount of time, I'm starting to remember what homeostasis felt like.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was blocked.
Yeah. 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 It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
It is. And so I have to honor this. Thank you, Craig, for that demonstration, your willingness in it. And when you said, so I've never done that far back on the parts integration.
Oh, cool.
Definitely, I've gone back far enough, but no one has said it was there at conception. And my first thought was you're making it hard on me, Craig.
Oh,
So I just thank you.
yeah, what's interesting is that preconception thing kind of came to the surface at Chris's 3-day last November. So I've been cooking on that for a year. And another thing I've realized in the past year is that my intuition power is preconception. Like it's all about, yeah, it's all about creating stuff before any inkling of it even exists. And that's another pattern that keeps repeating over and over again in my life.
But isn't that the definition of intuition? Because it's coming from the field and it's our connection to the field.
Yeah.
And so our personalities haven't encountered it before.
Yeah, my core genius about is about creating new things decades before they come into form. And I wasn't even aware that I was doing that until quite recently. Just the last 2 or 3 years, I've begun to realize that. So it doesn't really surprise me that that resistance would show up before conception. Because for me, that's where all the action is. Wow, you guys, it might take me a few days to unpack this one. Oh my goodness.
How did, for others, how did your word show up today?
My word showed up easy. You were of service.
Mm.
Thank you, Heinz. We were of service.
I feel for me, because I've been seeing maybe the past year, the vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. I've always been quite a vulnerable person, and I love my vulnerability now. But then Craig being vulnerable then, I just saw the strength and the beauty in vulnerability. It highlights it for me. Like, yeah. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Jesse. It
Thank
was
you,
a
Ian.
beautiful demonstration.
Yeah, what came to me is the less we do, the more powerful we are.
Yes.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
So on the heels of that, Pascal, is a little thing that I'll quote from my morning things, and that means, well, that goes like this. Yoga means union. Whether you find it through discipline or abandon is up to you.
That's a big one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they usually are.
They're not for the thinking mind.
No. And yet it sets my brain off, because what I was thinking about when you said, the less you do, the more you become. And it's so true, which is why I reinforced it with a quote. But what happens for me still is that in my mind's eye, I see all these subtle layers. And then I see them synchronizing. So I do go to my thinking mind. And it pulls my heart. You know, then there's the synchronization between the two. And that happens with statements like this. And then with other statements, it's the other way around. That the heart gets hit directly.
Yeah, it's the knowingness.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you know, just like you remember.
Mm-hmm. It's the all of you. No, it's the all that you need inside of you that gets activated. That's the memory. I'll speak to my words. My words were nothing and then something. And when I woke up this morning, it was nothing. And then I realized, well, nothing is open. And so the open was something good.
And in a nothingness, there's
Mhm.
everything.
Exactly. Don't think I could cope with the everything right then and there, Pascal. Not when I woke up.
Mm. Well, thank you all. Great morning. Thank you, Craig, Ian, for the space, opening it up.
Mm.
Hines, and Pascal. Great to be with you again.
Mm. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Till
Yeah,
next
it's
time.
been a lot of fun today.
Good.
Mm.
Have a nuts.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Love
Have
you
a
all.
nice-
Yeah.